The new Star Wars Squadrons game coming out in October looks kind of boring, whereas Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, now that's something to get excited about. That will basically be the topic of today's video, so let's just get right into it. Now, if you have not heard of Star Wars Squadrons, I wouldn't be super surprised. If that were the case, it's basically a new EA Star Wars game coming in October, which will focus only on the spaceship aspect of Star Wars. So no ground combat, no laser guns, no laser fights, no ground vehicles, none of that. Now, do I have a problem with this being the concept for a Star Wars game? No, not really. Rather than put all their efforts into a new story-driven Star Wars game like Jedi Fallen Order 2 or Next Gen Battlefront 3, of course, but to keep things simple, I'm just not a huge fan of the gameplay. But before we talk gameplay, let's talk about the things surrounding the game other than the actual gameplay. What I mean by that is, how are they handling microtransactions? Is there a campaign? What about the price? Most of these aspects of the game are actually really good. Not only will the game not have any microtransactions whatsoever, you had that right, after the Battlefront 2 pay-to-win controversy of 2017, they decided that in this game there will be no microtransactions, not even cosmetics. Speaking of cosmetics, which like I said you can't even pay for, even though I really wouldn't mind if that were the case, but you can actually earn all cosmetics by grinding the multiplayer, which I just think is awesome. Not only that, the game will only be $39.99, which is honestly a huge plus. So after hearing all this good stuff, why am I not really too excited for this game? Well, the main reason is the gameplay overall doesn't really look too enticing to me personally. One big thing is no matter what, you'll be stuck in first-person view. So that means you're only in cockpit view instead of being able to see your whole ship in third person like you could in Battlefront 2. Now, there's a big reason why this is a problem. Now, I obviously haven't played the game yet, but it already looks like there's going to be huge imbalance between the Rebels and the Empire. Now, as you can see, the Rebels have this huge open cockpit compared to the Empire, which has this tiny view-restricting cockpit. And there's no power advantages to the Empire to counter this. They just literally cannot see as well as the Rebellion can. This is obviously a huge problem for the Star Wars Squadrons multiplayer balancing. It's kind of the opposite of Battlefront 2 2017. In that game, if you played heroes as villains, the villains were just a little more powerful than the heroes because you had villains like Vader with his insane health and force choke, Boba Fett's jetpack, and General Grievous's insane claw rush ability. But I guess this time the good guys needed to get the revenge with their much better cockpit view. Even in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the heroes' villain situation was more balanced than Star Wars Squadrons looks like it's going to be because, I mean, the light side got Anakin in that game, and you know how Anakin goes. And all of this could have been avoided if you just had the option to change to third person when flying a ship, like you could in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Speaking of Battlefront 2, this honestly looks like a DLC for Star Wars Battlefront 2's Starfighter Assault mode, which isn't really going to make this feel like a fresh new game. This does make sense, though, because if you did not know, the developers of this game are Motive Studios, the same people who made the Starfighter gameplay for Star Wars Battlefront 2. So moving on, there's another big reason why I'm not too hyped for this game, and that is that the game will only have up to 5v5 combat. That's right, only 10 people in an entire lobby max. I don't know about you, but when I watch the Star Wars movies and you see the big space battles, it definitely looks like more than 10 ships flying around. I don't know why they did this, but it's going to make the battles feel a lot more small scale. And this is bad for a game that's only focused on space battles. And even in Star Wars Battlefront 2's Starfighter Assault, you could have 8 versus 8, and that was only a side mode. And in the big scale ground combat game modes like Capital Supremacy, you could have 20v20 ground battles with lots of AI reinforcements. And in some maps, you can even spawn in as a ship that had the option to be in third person. Now moving on, there will be a campaign, but you already know that's going to take like 3 hours to beat. And I'm really tired of this post-Return of the Jedi with the Rebellion versus the Empire. Like, come on, what's wrong with the Clone Wars campaign, EA? And we just got Battlefront 2, which had right after Return of the Jedi with Rebels versus Empire, and that campaign honestly wasn't too good in my personal opinion. But to be honest, this is clearly a side game. If this was a $60 game written with pay-to-win microtransactions, that would be ridiculous. It'd be an absolute dumpster fire. But it's only going to be $40, which is great, and it's only coming out 11 months after Jedi Fallen Order. The fact that it's coming out so soon after is great because we usually have to wait 2 years in between Star Wars games, but now we only have to wait less than a year. But like I said, it's a side game. But moving on from Star Wars Squadrons, we're going to look at the other side of the spectrum, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This game would have came out in October, around the same time as Squadrons, which would have made it really easy to directly compare the two. But sadly, a few days ago, they just released a new gameplay trailer, which looks amazing and really made me hyped. but it announced that the game would be delayed to spring 2021, which just sucks. But like I said, I am way more excited for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga because it's going to be a massive game which will take place throughout all 9 main Star Wars films, which is just so cool that you get to experience all the films throughout with the fun LEGO humor that all the LEGO games have. Not only that, it will have over 500 playable characters, which is going to be awesome. And you already know it's going to take way longer to beat than this Star Wars Squadrons 45-minute campaign. Now, you might say I'm more excited for the LEGO game because I'm an EA hater, or I'm just nostalgic for the original LEGO Star Wars game, and that's just not the case. Now, most people are just hyped because they grew up with the original LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, but believe it or not, I have not even played the original 2006 or whenever that came out, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga game, because back in the day when I played a Star Wars game, I was definitely more of a Force Unleashed guy, and the only LEGO game I've actually played in its entirety is a LEGO Movie video game when I was 10. It was actually the first game I played on my Xbox One, and I enjoyed it. It's obviously not some ambitious game. It's just a little movie tie-in, but that really did give me a feel of what LEGO games are going to be like, so I'm really excited for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. But yeah, this video basically tells you guys why I am way more hyped for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which is a LEGO game, of course, than an EA Star Wars game, which is just a little bit sad. I'm not saying Star Wars Squadrons is like bad or gonna be bad, but I'll definitely try to pick it up. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, of course I am. But yeah, I wish LEGO Star Wars was coming out in October. I would have made a video comparing the two. Most likely, LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga is gonna come out on top. Squadrons doesn't look too appealing. I'll still probably have fun with it. But yeah, tell me what you are most hyped for. Maybe you don't care about Star Wars games. I really appreciate all the comments. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you enjoy my content. Share with a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next one.